It's been a while since we've done a solo episode.
Yeah, it's like, how does this even work?
I don't know. I got used to sitting over there, like where we do the guest episodes, and now it's really weird to sit here.
Yeah, like I struggled with building everything up.
I know.
Like,
I had to move the lights and stuff, so it was a bit weird.
yeah.
Oh my god, our plant is dying. I just realized she's ripping. Look.
Oh my god, and we didn't even put on the oh no.
Oh no, I forgot to water this one because it's in this room.
And we also didn't put up the other plant that we usually have as decoration.
Yeah, it's fine. I feel like it's not needed.
Okay, so everyone who's watching, everyone actually who is not watching, we have a dying plant in the background.
Looks a little crazy.
But we will figure it out. We will pamper her up again.
Yeah, we'll fix her, don't worry.
Yeah.
So June update. It's going to be a bit late because by the time this goes online, which is going to be next Monday, it's going to be the second week of July. But whatever.
I mean, there was so much going on. I feel like this needs to extend into July anyways.
Yeah.
To make sense. I feel like there was like really a lot going on this
Also,
month.
we had so many guests. I think we had 1 week where we had 2 guests scheduled, and I think we even moved one of them. And somehow it was still so much.
No, we had 2 guests that 1 week, and the next week we would have also had 2 guests.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, so I hope you guys like the guest episodes. I really, really enjoy them. So I hope you do too.
Yeah, I've been enjoying doing them. I always feel inspired. I also feel like it's helped inspire us for some things that we're working on right now.
Yeah.
Some of which we can share and some of which we can't. So should we talk about what we kicked off last month?
Yeah, but maybe let's go back first as to why we kicked things off last month. I feel like a little bit of backstory is important here, also to keep it like, I don't know, like real. Let's put it that way. Like I feel like we went for a little bit of a crisis, in the sense of not a crisis per se, but like a bit of a pivot. Maybe pivot is a better word.
Yeah, I don't remember why or when that was.
It was in July. I think just an overall, we checked in with ourselves, something that we've been preaching for quite some time, and we did like a checking in with ourselves and how we want to work and what we want to do.
Yeah, but I think this is something we've been working towards, and I know we've said it on the podcast before. We said this last year, that we are working towards less client-based work and more income sources that are not from the client's side. So that's just something that we've been brainstorming on. How can we make that happen, and what steps do we need to take to make that happen?
Yeah. But I feel like it, do you say manifested? I feel like it festered. I don't know.
I think it just became clear to us again, the client work is so volatile, and project work is just so fluctuates so much that you can't really plan. And it's stressful. It's a lot of mental load that you have all the time. It never goes away, because you're constantly kind of in the back of your head thinking about the next project. We also explored some like lead generation things last month, because we get all these cold emails from like lead gen and agencies, and we were like, okay, let's maybe actually give this a chance, because like anything else, if you don't have those resources within your company, you would outsource it. So most agencies, big agencies, would do lead generation within the company. Somebody would be responsible for that and spend their time doing that. Obviously, as a 2-person studio, you don't have the resources for that. That's something that we would have to do, the 2 of us, which we just don't have the time to do. So then we were like, maybe we should do something with a lead gen agency. But then what kind of happened through exploring that was like one of them ghosted us. So I'm guessing they were a scam. It's really difficult with these things to know, like, are they legit or not? Because it always sounds too good to be true. It's like, we can get you high quality leads with this budget, like whatever budget you kind of want to be working with, and it only costs this much. It seems way too good to be true. So I think that's why a lot of people are reluctant to try it.
I feel like always when something's way too good to be true, it's usually a scam.
Yeah, so I don't know if it is a scam or the person we were in contact with just stopped working there and that's why they never replied, but whatever, that kind of like didn't happen. And the other agency we talked to was just way too expensive, and also was promising things we didn't need, like 100 leads a month. Like, I don't need 100 leads a month.
No.
Imagine you close 10 of those. Like, let's say you close 10%. That's still too much for us to handle, and I'm not interested in expanding our team again, and you would need to handle that. So yeah, all of that. I also think that project work is only scalable to a certain point when you're two people, in terms of the budgets and in terms of how much money you can make. And we've kind of hit that point. I feel like we've hit the maximum already, and it's still not enough for us. And I'm not talking about, it's just so expensive. No, like, it's not something to laugh about, because it's not like we're just greedy. It's that Austria is so expensive, and we're making all of this money and we're giving so much of it away for social security and taxes, which I'm fine with. Like, I don't have a problem with doing that. But in Austria, you like hit this cap really quickly where you start paying a lot, where that money is just ends up not being enough for you to live like a good, comfortable life. Like, we are living a comfortable life right now, but I wouldn't say we are living above average.
No.
And I also don't think we are getting what we should be getting, considering how much risk is involved in what we do, how much stress is involved. And it's like, I feel like I'm constantly being held back by all of these payments we have to make. And to reach the next step where you're making all of those payments, it doesn't hurt, and you're able to really live like a really nice lifestyle, you would have to scale. Then you would need a lead gen team like that, and 100 leads a month, and have 10 projects going on at once. And I don't want to do that. So it's like, okay, where do we go from here?
Yeah, so I feel like that sums it up.
Yeah.
So that was the dilemma, or like, I don't know, the thoughts that kickstarted the next steps that we're taking right now. I'm not quite sure what are we sharing and what are we not sharing.
I want to share the building in public stuff.
Okay, let's do that.
The other stuff, I feel like we're not ready to share that yet.
No, but you will hear from it here first.
We kind of already started today. That's why I feel like we can share that. So basically, we have a Discord server. Check the description under this podcast. You'll find a link there if you want to join. And basically, it started off as just like a place where we could talk to people in our community. And one of the people that joined, he mentioned having like this spreadsheet that he uses for pricing. And this was when you were on holiday, actually. I was like, hey, that sounds really interesting. Could you share that with me? Because he said, like, if you're interested in it, I'll share it via DM. So he shared it, and then we got to talking, and we're like, kind of had the same ideas of where that could go. Like, because this is kind of like the lore, but we, Rebecca and me, always talked about making some kind of a tool for creatives. And so seeing this spreadsheet that he was using for pricing, it kind of like got me thinking about this tool again. And then we were kind of brainstorming about this pricing tool and how that could help people figure out how to price their work, and kind of a really easy way to like understand project-based pricing and also calculate it for your everyday use kind of thing. And yeah, and then when Rebecca came back from the holiday, I showed her this, and we got to talking with him, and now we kind of kickstarted that.
Yeah, actually like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's kind of insane. So we are taking this really seriously in terms of like managing the project and actually having deadlines.
Yeah.
And so we are really serious about this tool, which is has been really inspiring, I have to say. I feel like I got a little bit of my spark back.
Yeah, me too. I'm really excited about it. Plus I just see a lot of things potentially happening with this tool in the future. I'm talking like 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Like, there's just a lot of potential there for this to grow into something bigger. And I think it's fun to build in public too. Like, that's something we talked about right at the beginning, because I think you mentioned it.
Yeah, in software development or in product development, I guess, people do this thing called like public building, where they basically share their journey. So they really just start sharing snippets, or like, I don't know, roadblocks they came across, or I don't even know, just anything that comes up in a project, and they talk about it openly. Some really cool products have been built that way. I sadly cannot name names right now because nothing comes to mind, but I've been following them back then on Twitter.
Yeah.
A lot. Haven't seen it now because it's kind of like I'm not using Twitter anymore, but I've seen that a lot, like happening in the past.
Yeah, and it's something you brought up, and I think everyone at first was like, oh, because it's just like so much more. It's just all this extra work because it's a lot of social media, it's a lot of posting, it's a lot of like regular updates. It's not something like one newsletter every couple of months. It's like you really have to be on it and like keep people up to date. But yeah, I guess we went away with that when you first mentioned it, and then I got pretty inspired by that because I thought I'm in like a beta testing for an app, and I kind of see how they do the building in public, and I feel like it's doable. Like it is a lot of work, but I do think it's worth it because it's a lot of potential to like include the users in the process, which we would want to do anyway. So I'm kind of involved right now, like to give an update of where the project is right now and why we're mentioning it today. Like today I posted online about it for the first time because we really want to get some user input, do some market research before we define like what the tool is going to be able to do and like what we're going to prioritize and what we might leave out for now or maybe isn't necessary at all. And it's important to do user and market research anyway when you're building something like this. So then I was thinking it's cool to not only involve users in that process, but also like what happens after that, you know? So like they've given their input and then they kind of want to know what's happened with that. So I think it's cool to like keep them updated and then also have them be involved in the process.
I think it's an interesting perspective to be on the other side. I mean, a lot of like building a product, whereas just being involved in the design of the product or things like that, or development of the product, as in like the actual code development. And I think it's interesting to see it from a different point of view. And I think it's also cool to see that a lot of principles that we are applying in, for example, branding, positioning, user research can actually be applied in product development. So that's also really interesting and really cool to see.
Yeah, and we've always talked about making a digital product.
Yeah.
We've explored different things like maybe creating a theme or something for Shopify that we could sell on the Shopify theme store. We explored creating templates that we could sell and things like that. None of those things ever stayed with us as much as the idea of creating some kind of a tool that would help creatives in their workflow.
I think also because there aren't really many tools that do that, and we have also been like frustrated with the tools that we're using, but you kind of have to use them because that's what's out there.
Yeah.
And so we've been using tools we're actually not happy with, but I don't know, it's better than nothing. So yeah, that's why I think it has stayed with us for this long, because Shopify themes, there are a lot of them out there. It's still cool to explore, of course, or like icon packs or I don't know, whatever you can put out there as a creative. Whereas with the tool, it would be really something I would enjoy using and I would want to use because the tools we're using right now are annoying.
Yeah.
Kind of frustrating to use.
Yeah. So it's starting out as just a price. Like the plan is to create some kind of a tool that makes project pricing understandable and also that you can create a project-based price with this tool based on certain factors and criteria. And right now we're just in the research stage where, like I said before, we want input from users or potential users, people who are in the target group, what they would find helpful, like what they struggle with pricing, how do they price their work, what do they factor in and stuff like that. But yeah, like we're going to be building this in public. So anyone who follows along on the podcast or on our social media is gonna see, like right now I posted something on Threads about it. I'm posting on LinkedIn now, apparently, privately. So we're going to be posting as like our own people. So me as Rebecca, you as Rebecca. And then once we have the branding and everything kind of nailed down for the product, we'll also be posting as the product from those accounts.
Yeah, it's going to be a journey for everyone involved. And
it's really important to remember it's not something that Same is doing.
Yeah.
It's something that we are doing with our partner. I don't know if I should mention his name because I haven't asked if we should mention him.
Yeah, me neither.
But I'll ask him if we should mention him by name and I'll link his profile in the description.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will be okay. But yeah, let's get his consent first.
Yeah. But we're doing this as like a three-person partnership. And it's totally pro bono. It's not going to cost anything. So we're just doing it for the community. And then, yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. I do see it someday being more than that. But right now, it's just really like doing our part for the community, giving something back, creating something that people can really use and benefit from.
Yeah, I feel like it also really fits us because we are talking about pricing so much.
Yeah.
So I feel like this tool would just be a really helpful extension to what we are talking about and for our community, of course. So yeah, I feel like that was like the biggest news.
Oh, and just to also mention the description of this episode again, I will link the questionnaire in the episode. If you are someone who runs a creative business or you're a freelancer in the creative industry, please take 3 minutes and answer the questions, because it would be really helpful for us to move forward with a product that is really usable and makes sense.
Yeah. And yeah, another thing, we reactivated LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I guess let's see where that goes. Other news, I've been actually guest in a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the episode hasn't come out yet. I think it will come out, I don't know, end of July, August. We will let you guys know.
Oh, yeah.
That was an interesting experience.
You should write about it on your LinkedIn.
I will. That was an interesting experience. Another thing which you probably have already noticed are the guest episodes, that we have been expanding them.
Yeah.
It's been way more now than it used to be. That's been really fun. I think we had like once we talked about it as an update. I do remember that, like what it was like to have the first guest on our podcast. Now, maybe we could talk a little bit about what it feels like now, because I feel like it has changed ever since.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten easier. I don't feel nervous before. Also with people, it was always easier when it was someone we knew, but we had a few people now that we didn't know before the podcast. So it was like our first time meeting them, and then we have to talk to them for like an hour and keep the conversation going like productively, which is the challenge. And then also being able to handle, I guess, make sure the conversation goes in a direction that it makes sense and that people have value from it. But it's been pretty effortless because I feel like our guests have just been really, really good.
Yeah.
Well. Like there was never a guest where I felt like, I don't know how I'm going to keep this conversation going.
No, they've been great. Like it's really great because actually all of them really just like talk so effortlessly about the story. I feel like I wouldn't be able to talk so effortlessly about our story or about myself.
I know, every time someone's on, like, and we often ask them, or almost always have asked if they've been on a podcast before, and I think most of them have said no.
Yeah.
Or have maybe been on one before, and it's like, it's so natural. It's like they've done this 5 times, 10 times. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, to be fair, we get as a feedback that we are really easy to talk to and that the atmosphere is really
chill.
Really chill. Like we had some that were quite nervous before. Actually 2 guests that have been nervous before coming to the podcast and kind of like, okay, what's this experience gonna be like? And they kind of were like, yeah, like I already said, nervous. And after the talk, we always have like a debriefing where we talk about how it went for them and what we can do different, etc. And the feedback usually is like, no, it was so chill, it was so much better than expected. And yeah, so I think that's a really good sign.
Yeah, definitely. Probably that's what part of the reason why it never felt like forced. Yeah. I also think that, I guess my experience now that we've talked to so many different people has also been, I mean, I said this at the beginning of the episode, but that it makes me more motivated in general.
Yeah.
I always, even like we had a couple of days where, I think we had one day where you weren't feeling well, and then we had another day where I wasn't feeling well. But as soon as the podcast started and we were recording, that kind of just like went away, and afterwards I felt a lot better. So that was also a positive experience.
I think overall, every time we like close the laptop, we were like, wow, okay, I feel like really inspired right now and really motivated on top of that.
Yeah.
And I don't even know, like it was about such different topics, and every time though it was the same feeling afterwards.
Yeah, and sometimes topics that I have no idea about, like when we talked to Hongwei about AR and stuff. Like, I don't know anything about AR, but it felt just his story, and then also just the conversations we had about AI after that, like just a lot of stuff where I felt, even after that, I felt inspired, even though it has nothing to do with our work.
I think it's cool to talk to passionate people, and it's really also cool to exchange stories and to hear about their struggles or like their successes and what they've been up to, their processes, their approaches, and there's always something you can take away with you.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's kind of what we want to achieve as well with the community, also with the podcast, is that everyone kind of feels that way after they've interacted with someone.
Ideally, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great.
And then another thing that happened in June, was actually the last day of June, was the event that we hosted.
Oh my God, I almost forgot about that. Not because it wasn't significant, but because so much has happened this month.
So much happened in June and like the beginning of July, but I feel like that we can end the podcast on that, because it was like the last thing we did in June.
Also, it's a very positive note. So.
Yeah. So we hosted Ladies Wine and Design, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a format that was originally created by Jessica Walsh in New York. And then Maria Lechner in Vienna created the Vienna version.
We also have an interview with her.
We also have a podcast with her coming out. So she saw that format, and then she basically wrote Jessica Walsh, and she created the Vienna version. She talks about it in the podcast too, so I don't want to spoil her too much. Anyway, we contacted her about hosting because it's really about platforming women in the design space. So we thought it would be perfect for us. And a lot of people came. So usually it's like 10 people, but I think we had even more than that.
And
it was like 12.
In total, we were 17 people.
Yeah, like with us and then with the organizer and like our 2 people from our studio. Yeah, it was 17 people, so it was quite a lot actually in the room.
15, whatever. It's not about the exact numbers. It's about a lot of people showed up,
which was positive because it shows that like the topic of the discussion was business of design, so it had a lot to do with the stuff we talk about in the podcast too.
And I feel like you could wake me up and I could have like a talk about it.
Yeah.
At like this point.
Stuff we always talk about, so pricing, positioning, business, like stages of business and how to get the right clients and all this stuff, compacted into a very short presentation. It was like not more than an hour. And we had some questions after, talked to some people afterwards as well. It was very chill. It was very nice. I enjoyed it.
And it was really great because also I prefer in-person workshops, in-person talks, because I just really like to see people's faces and reactions, because then I'm more able to pivot or more able to like, I don't know, it's just like, I feel like it's way easier for me versus, I mean, this is fine right now because we're talking to each other. But in general, I struggle a little bit with having like, for example, online workshops or talking to a camera and stuff like that, because it feels so impersonal to me. I know it's not. I know there's someone on the other side. I just struggle with the idea of not seeing reactions and not seeing.
It is nice when you're like talking to a group and you see people nodding.
Exactly.
Or you see them
you can incorporate them into the talk.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's way more organic than the other way. Is more like other one is more like, yeah, I'm talking and I have to like force someone to unmute their mic or to show their faces. And in this way, you can just incorporate them into the talk, ask them questions. A lot of people actually gave input during the talk about their experiences. That was super cool too. And overall, it was a great experience and something I truly enjoy doing. So
yeah,
it was also pro bono.
Yeah, it was free. Ladies Wine and Design has always been free to talk. So,
and we just thought it's really important to also show up in the community. And we've had a workshop before that was paid, but also super cheap, considering what it was.
Yeah.
And this one was free. We really like doing these events, and also it's really good to see how people react, first of all, and second of all to get feedback about the talk and about how we present things. I think it's important to know what they think, because at some point we want to do this more often, and if people are not enjoying it or like can't see value in it, then it's good to know this beforehand.
Yeah.
But overall, it's been great. We got really good feedback. And anything, I'm not sure what else to add here. I think we've covered everything.
Yeah, I think that July is going to be busy. And I think if you want to keep up with what we've been doing, definitely make sure to check out our Threads account. Like I know we are not on Instagram anymore, but we do still use Threads, mainly because it just fits our format better. Instagram became a place that was just about like algorithms and about trends and stuff, and it just doesn't fit our like what we're trying to do with our content. So Threads is more the format we're looking for, which is like community networking, and that's why we're looking at LinkedIn now. Oh my gosh.
So you can also add us on LinkedIn, I
Yeah,
guess.
add us on LinkedIn. Like I literally add anyone. I don't even look at their profile before because I'm just like, I don't even know what's going on here. So accept. But I do read messages if people send me messages. If I don't reply to a message, it's because I just haven't looked at LinkedIn in like 2 weeks. But I am going to try to I need to think about a system for myself. And also like if we're going to be building in public, we generally need to think about like a system. But I am going to be more consistent about posting online when it comes to this building in public thing. So if you're interested in that, then you'll definitely see more of that on our account and on our private accounts.
Yeah, I'm just thinking what other time. I mean, you'll obviously hear about it in the podcast, but kind of like not in real time. It's mostly like probably gonna be a summary of what we have been doing.
Yeah, you'll definitely hear about it in the update episodes.
And the newsletter as well. So
yeah, if you're signed up to our newsletter, you'll hear about it. I will be sending the questionnaire via the newsletter as well. So
yeah,
if you don't look at the description, you'll have it there.
Yeah, so we're gonna reach you
Yeah.
one way or the other, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. I feel like we've summarized everything pretty well, went into everything that happened.
Yeah, I hope we didn't forget anything.
No, otherwise you'll hear from it in July.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to this episode of Never Went to Business School. Don't forget to follow us here on Spotify. And if you enjoy our content, check out our YouTube channel for more educational videos and subscribe to our newsletter on Substack.